Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here once again with another awesome video. Run to Cyprus Crisis 1974 Cold War documentary. Not really sure. I have done Cyprus on the Geography Now videos. It's been a while, and I know that the country is basically split in two. I know they went over it in that video, but to be honest, I forget, or pretty much totally forget. I just know it's split down the middle. I mean, it's one country, but it's just it seems, I don't know, it's split. I forget. It's been a while since I've done that video. I think they explained it very briefly, but I just don't remember. So I'm sorry about that. Other than that, I'm not quite sure. This is the Cold War, so I'm assuming that this is kind of the time where there is that split. Right? Or maybe not. I don't know, but I figured it'd be really interesting to do. It's only a one take video. And yeah, we're going to jump over to Cyprus. Very cool name for a country. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button below. I'd really appreciate it before we jump into this video here. And yeah, we're going to get into it. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm a little tired, so I'm sorry if I come off tired. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
20 pounds of muscle.
Best.
The strategic location of Cyprus meant that it saw constant invasions throughout its history. The Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs, the Franks, and the Turks all vied for it. In the second half of the 20th century, the island erupted into another war, with the local and mainland Greeks and Turks fighting a full-scale war in 1974. Welcome to our video on the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, also called the
This will be interesting because I remember, there's a Turkish side and a Greek side, and according to the Geography Now video, it's apparently still going on today, but it still counts as one country, but it's split. And I don't think I quite understood it, when they did the video, when I watched that video. So it'll be kind of cool to actually know exactly what's going on and get details, because it seems like a very interesting, topic in war or whatever,
Welcome to our video on the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, also called the Cyprus Peace Operation, voted for by our patrons and YouTube members. If you're interested in the history of this era, don't forget to check out our second channel, The Cold War. The link is in the load of other in-game goodies.
Sorry.
Cyprus, a strategic island in the Mediterranean Sea, inhabited by a majority Greek and minority Turkish population, had been ruled by the Ottoman Empire since 1571 up until 1878, when Britain took control over it and formally annexed it in 1914. Cyprus was under British control until 1960, when the island proclaimed its independence. But the process leading to the independence of Cyprus was far from peaceful. Greek and Turkish communities had different plans for the island, and the British had to find a solution which would keep both sides content. Greek Cypriots wanted unification with Greece, enosis. Their strongest organisation was AOKA, which sought to achieve independence from Britain first and then to unify with Greece. Turkish Cypriots wanted the partition of Cyprus between Greece and Turkey, the plan which was called Taksim. The most prominent organisation of Turkish Cypriots was TMT. Intercommunal Greek-Turkish violence in Cyprus was regular in the 1950s to 70s, and the Constitution of Cyprus, approved by the Zurich Agreement between Turkey, Greece and the UK, did not bring peace to the island. According to the Constitution, The president of Cyprus was to be a Greek, elected by the Greek community, and the vice president would be a Turk, elected by the Turks. Both of them would have veto power. 30% of the cabinet ministers and state officials would be Turks, and both communities would have high autonomy from each other. The Turkish, Greek, and British armies had military bases on the island, and were the guarantors of its independence. Greek Cypriots were unhappy with the privileges provided to Turkish Cypriots, and a number of times in the 1960s, violence erupted. In 1963, the violence resulted in the death of 364 Turkish and 174 Greek Cypriots, the destruction of 109 Turkish Cypriot or mixed villages, and the displacement of 25,000 to 30,000 Turkish Cypriots. At the time, Turkey was on the brink of invading Cyprus to protect the Turkish population, but a US diplomatic intervention and direct talks between Turkey and Greece calmed tension down a bit.
Okay.
By 1974, the Greek Cypriot leadership under Makarios cooled down on the necessity of enosis, but Greece, ruled by a military junta, promoted enosis and cooperated with local pro-enosis forces such as AOKA. In 1974, the Makarios government was overthrown by Cypriot National Guard elements, led by Greek officers. A vehemently pro-enosis anti-Turkish member of AOKA, Nikos Sampson, was declared the president. Turkey issued a list of demands to Greece via the US negotiator. These demands included the immediate removal of Nikos Sampson, the withdrawal of 650 Greek officers from the Cypriot National Guard, the admission of Turkish troops to protect their population, equal rights for both populations, and access to the sea from the northern coast for Turkish Cypriots. They called on Britain to ensure the new...
Like, right now, it just doesn't seem like it's its own, like, country right now. And at this point in the video, it's like, all these, like, you know, Turkey and Greece, like, they both kind of like, it's almost kind of like, there's a big negotiation, like, who controls it, like, whose country it is. Like, is it, you know, from Turkey? Is it, you know, Greece? Like, it feels like there hasn't been a decision yet. So it's like not its own country, you know, it's just a piece of land that with a big question mark on it. And then you have like the British in there, you know, with, I guess, sticking their nose in the business, trying to help figure that out. And same with the Americans. I guess just trying to avoid a war. And yeah, it's kind of, so like, it's just interesting. I don't know.
Neutrality of Cyprus as one of the guarantors. Britain refused, and Turkey started planning an invasion of Cyprus. At the time, 117,000 Turks were living on the island, mainly in the enclaves in Nicosia, Famagusta, Larnaca, and Limassol. The Turkish Cypriots had a 10,000 to 13,000 man standing army and were able to mobilize up to 20,000 men. They had control of the strategic Nicosia-Kyrenia highway, which made communication for Greek Cypriots with the north of the island more difficult. The main force of Greek Cypriots on the island was the National Guard, headed by Greek officers, with a standing army of 12,000 men and 32 tanks, having the potential to mobilize up to 40,000 men.
Wow, let's look at that. Like, you know, because I know that just from the previous video that I believe it, that I'm guessing that this island's gonna end up being split in half. But like right now, it's like I figured it would start off that way. You know, I have one side, you know, maybe the side that's closer to like the Turkey border, have most of the Turkish guys on that side, like kind of already be kind of separated. But right now, there is no basically separation. They're all like scattered everywhere, and so it'll be interesting how it gets to that point. So apparently, I guess the Greeks are got them a little bit outnumbered. Apparently, right?
Along with that, AOKA had 5,000 men, and the elite Greek regiment, Elthig, had 1,200 men. The plan of the Turkish army, Attila I, was to land in Kyrenia and secure territories, including the Turkish enclave near Nicosia, Gionyele. That would be a demonstration of force, and there was hope that a diplomatic solution would be possible after that. If not, the Turks would press on to secure the northern part of Cyprus up until Famagusta. The Turkish army was confident of success, since they considered themselves to be dominant in the Mediterranean, on sea and in the air. A naval armada of 5 destroyers and 31 landing ships would carry the amphibious forces, while the Air Force would drop paratroopers and supplies and provide air support for the entire operation. Turkey deployed 40,000 men and 180 tanks during the confrontation in Cyprus. Greek Cypriots had the Aphrodite Plan, which aimed to swiftly attack Turkish enclaves in Cyprus as soon as information about a Turkish invasion arrived, in an attempt to prevent them from connecting with these enclaves. On the 20th of July, 1974, the Kakmak Special Strike Force Landing Brigade, 1 battalion of the 6th Amphibious Infantry Regiment, the 50th Infantry Regiment, and 1 company of the 39th Divisional Tank Battalion, 39th Infantry Division, the whole force consisting of around 3,000 troops and 12 M47 tanks, landed unopposed in Pentamili, a few miles from the main port of Kyrenia. 2 Greek Cypriot motor torpedo boats, the T1 and T3, attempted to make the landing more difficult for the Turks, but were destroyed on the morning of the landing. The first land attack by Greek Cypriots was made at 10 AM by elements of the 251st Infantry Battalion, supported by 5 T-34 tanks. The Turks managed to repel the attack, disable all 5 tanks, and advance. An attack by elements of the 281st, 316th, and the 286th Battalions, led by National Guard Staff Officer Lieutenant Colonel Bufas, initially forced the Turks to retreat, but eventually the Turkish 50th Infantry Regiment was able to regain the lost ground and force the Greeks to dig in.
Wow.
Elsewhere, near Nicosia, by the Turkish enclave Gönyeli, the landing of Turkish paratroopers was disastrous, with more than 90 of 120 men losing their lives. 550 men and 20 tanks of Eltvik began the siege of Gönyeli, which was a strategic point on the Kyrenia-Nicosia road, cutting the island from the north to the center. Turkish Cypriots were prepared for the siege and heavily fortified the area with defensive and anti-tank structures. They were able to repel the initial Greek attack, and the following counterattack by the 399th Battalion inflicted significant damage to the Greek Cypriots, with at least 4 of their tanks being destroyed in the process. On the 20th of July, the Greek Cypriot forces...
I just want to say, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't know who's in the right, who's in the wrong. To me, it just seems like, 2 countries who have a lot of their own people living here, and each country is kind of fighting for the rights of their own citizens, pretty much, right? And of course, and for their interests and stuff. And so the war is basically over, I guess, one country, each country just wants to have the upper hand, I guess, and just wants, fair, and apparently that's not happening. And pretty much, right? Am I wrong? Anyways.
Process. On the 20th of July, the Greek Cypriot forces attacked the Turkish Cypriot enclaves at Limassol, Paphos, and Agaita Nicosia with different levels of success. In Limassol and Paphos, the Turks were defeated, and many were taken as prisoners of war. On the same day, the United Nations Security Council adopted Resolution 353, demanding all foreign military personnel leave Cyprus and calling on Britain, Turkey and Greece to start negotiations to restore peace on the island. On the 21st of July, Turkish destroyer Kocatepe was hit by friendly fire after deception by Greek Cypriots and sunk with all of its 53-person crew. The Greeks also suffered from friendly fire, as approximately 30 commandos died when a Nor-Atlas aircraft transporting them from Crete to Cyprus was hit by Greek Cypriot anti-aircraft guns. The junta in Greece understood that local Greek Cypriot forces were not strong enough to defeat the Turks. The 537th Infantry Battalion, a battalion of tanks, and 500 Cypriot volunteers were sent as reinforcements. In the morning of July 21st, all Turkish enclaves in Limassol and Larnaca were taken by the Greeks. Thousands of Turks were taken as POWs. Other enclaves of Lefka
definitely looks like, because the country is definitely closer to Turkey, so like their planes and everything, it seems like they have an advantage when it comes to getting there faster, being able to make faster moves, and with them being able to get supply troops a lot faster. I guess like troop numbers are even, but it seems like Turkey has the advantage as far as that is concerned. But then again, like Greece had more people already in Cyprus, so they have the advantage of already being there and hanging, right, pretty much. But there were still not as much, still a lot, Turks in Cyprus. So it almost feels like a game,
Denizli, Famagusta, and Limnitis were also under attack. On July 22nd, the second wave of Turkish forces, including a tank company and a mechanized infantry company, arrived in Cyprus. The Turks attacked Kyrenia, which was defended by 33 MK Commando and the 306th, 251st, and 241st Infantry Battalions. They were able to take the town after losing 5 tanks. The force which took Kyrenia was able to establish communications between Kyrenia and Gyonyele. This was an important achievement, as firstly a Turkish enclave in Gyonyele was protected, and secondly, controlling Kyrenia allowed Turkey to send more troops to Cyprus. Greek defeats in the first days of the war led to the collapse of the junta regime in Greece on the 23rd of July. Britain tried to restore peace by organising negotiations between Greece and Turkey on the 25th of July. These talks went on until August 14th and did not achieve success. Turkey demanded the federalization of Cyprus, allowing the transfer of populations. The new president of Cyprus, Clerides, asked for 2 days to make a decision, but Turkey demanded an immediate answer and commenced its second wave of offensives on August 14th, Attila II. 2 more infantry divisions were transferred to Cyprus. Greek Cypriots organized their defense along the Troodos line, which left 40% of the island accessible to Turkish troops. Its western sector started from the sea and went on until the Nicosia airport, and was defended by the 11th Tactical Group. The central sector spread from Nicosia International Airport and ended at the suburb of Nicosia, Emilia. It consisted of the 212th Reserve Battalion, Eltsik's Camp Detachment, 3 companies, the 336th Reserve Battalion, reinforced with various companies with a total strength of 1,300 men, the 211th Battalion, and the 187th Artillery Battalion. The eastern flank consisted of the 12th Tactical Group and the 9th Tactical Group, and expected the strongest Turkish attack. The total size of the Greek forces numbered at around 20,000 men, with 21 T-34 tanks. Turkish forces consisted of 40,000 men, mainly in the 28th and 39th Infantry Divisions, 1 armoured regiment, with 1 tank battalion and 1 mechanized infantry battalion from the 5th Armoured Brigade, the Turkish regiment on Cyprus, reinforced with 1 parachute battalion and 1 battalion from the 50th Regiment, 1 commando brigade, 1 paratrooper brigade, 60 to 200 tanks, 200 APCs, and 120 field guns.
Wow.
Added to them were the remaining 5 Turkish Cypriot regiments with 19 battalions. Turkey's target was to connect with Turkish enclaves in Famagusta and Limnitis. Attila II started with the Turkish 39th Division attacking the Emilia defensive line, defended by the 399th Battalion. The Turks were able to push through, and together with the
Oh, wow.
241st Battalion, the Greek Cypriots fell back to Famagusta. In the central sector, the Turks were met with heavy resistance and their advance was limited. On the 15th of August, only 341st Battalion with 3 T-34 tanks resisted the Turkish advance, while the rest of the 12th Tactical Group retreated to Larnaca. By evening, Turkish forces entered Famagusta. The Turkish 28th Division advanced 6 kilometers in the western sector on that day as well. On August 16th,
Well, right now it looks like Turkey's kicking butt. So there you have it. Yeah. I mean, they're getting the ground, they're getting their footholds on the coastline, and they're pushing in. I guess just more manpower or just better equipment because they have, you know, at least the Air Force and all that. They just got more going for them, you know. But wow.
the Turks reached Morphu and Limnitis. Thus, the aim of the Attila II offensive was achieved. Turkey's campaign in Cyprus led to the occupation of 40% of the island. The island was divided by the so-called Green Line. Greek refugees, amounting to 160,000 people, left for the Greek-controlled parts of Cyprus, while Turkish refugees moved to the part controlled by Turkey. During the war, the Turks...
And right, that's what the Turks wanted to begin with, right? But that wasn't agreed upon. So they kind of had to take force to kind of get what they wanted, for their people to make sure they get right. So the payments came with for what they wanted for, and they're happy with that. I guess they could have pushed and gone for more, right? But they got what they came for, and pretty much, right?
lost up to 3,500 men, while Greek losses amounted to 6,000 men.
Wow.
Subsequently, the Turks declared the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which is not recognized by the international community. To this day, Cyprus remains divided, despite numerous attempts to reach an agreement. The videos in full 3D are extremely difficult, expensive, and time-consuming.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's just the end. Is it? Yeah, I'm saying. All right, that's the end. Well, there you have it, guys. So I can't believe there's not an agreement yet. Like, why not? Because I don't really see it as one country. Why just have basically that side of the green line be Turkey and just have the other side be Greece? Just have it part of of the main countries. Why even have Cyprus as its own country? For me, it just seems odd that it's its own country, but it's not, because each side controls exactly what they want to do on each side of that line. So it's not like it's actually one country. So because it only has one, Cyprus, right? It's its own country. It's not like from what I understand, it's not two different countries there. It should be just one. It's called one country. So but yet, I keep repeating myself. One side you have Greece controls this side. This side, that seems like two countries, obviously. So I don't know. I still don't get it, and I think it's kind of crazy how it's taken so long, and still separated since then. And I mean, it's fine if it's separated. Just make the ruling, but apparently, who they say, the United Nations or whatnot, they don't acknowledge that Turkey's side of things, which it's been, this has been like 40, 50 years. I don't know how long, but 40 years, 40 some years. I mean, if it's been like this for 40 years, why not just go ahead? I mean, things aren't going to change. It seems like just give Turkey its own side. I don't know. I could be saying a lot of controversial things right now, and I know, for those that are probably in this situation, who live in this country or know people in there, it's probably very sensitive. Everyone's probably like, everyone has their side which they think is right, opinion is right. Just just from my point of view, from just from what I've seen, or unless something was said that I just missed. It just seems like a no-brainer just to make it two different countries. Just make not even two different countries. Just make one side part of Turkey, the other side part of Greece. It seems like a simple thing, but I think I'm missing out on some information that I apparently maybe missed with the whole beginning of the split up of the reasoning why. But with so much time being gone by, I don't think it really matters what the reasoning is. I mean, there's still that green line. Nothing's been done about it. So I'm just making two countries. Let me know in the comments below where I'm wrong, and yeah, your opinion on this. It just seems like it's still very controversial because, like I said, I've seen the Cyprus one. It's been a few months since I've seen that geography now, so I don't remember which. I just remember the green line being separated, which means obviously it's still like that. So it's been going on since 1974. It's like, I mean, the people who were part of this war probably not even around anymore, who were in power back then, are probably not even around anymore. So all the new people should just be like, hey, whatever, let's get this done and over with. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button below. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in future videos. But I really do enjoy this controversial stuff. It's actually really interesting, and it makes you think. Anyways, peace.